Hey guys, it's Ryan here with DP Marketing Services and author on the book on digital marketing for plumbing and HVAC contractors. Hope you're doing good, staying safe, all those things. So awkward, uncomfortable video today. So as you guys know, if you've followed our channels for long, like we work with plumbing and HVAC companies across the US and Canada. We primarily focus on like digital marketing. So if it's helping you get more leads, make more money, that's kind of our wheelhouse. Part of what we tried to do though is help you think more holistically about the business at large, right? So marketing kind of gets sucked into all these things about just getting leads and getting calls, and totally that needs to, but there's a lot of things that go into making the business run better that ultimately result in you having a better company, a more profitable company that might not have anything to do with marketing, that we try to, when possible, talk about and provide like insights and things to think about. One of these topics is not fun, and it's something that we've had direct experience with two different instances lately. And the idea is continuity planning. So for those who maybe have never heard the term, if you're just now starting to kind of get into building the systems and processes of your business, continuity planning essentially is the act of trying to disaster-proof your business. So we're in Oklahoma, right? So a lot of times the easy disasters for us to point to are things like tornadoes. If you're like on the coast, you might think by default like hurricanes. Like how do you make sure that your business continues to operate and function in the event of a natural disaster, right? And totally those are worth planning for and preparing for. In this day and age with digital tools, it's easier and easier and easier to not get stuck in a world of hurt, right? So if you're using a field management software like Skyboss or Service Titan or House Call, it's easy to know, okay, you have your accounting done, you have your customer list done, like nothing is paper that's getting lost in a fire or tornado or hurricane. So there's a certain amount of security. But we've had two different instances recently that have caused us to have a sobering hard look at kind of just operations. So one was a couple months ago. You may have seen it if you're on any of the Facebook groups. There's a client that we've worked with for a long time. Great couple, husband and wife team. The wife suffered a massive stroke. It was, without getting into like personal information, it is a very bad situation. The husband ran the wrenches. He drove trucks, he did dashboard time, he ran calls, and the wife primarily ran the business. The problem is now when the wife was taken out of the picture, the husband's getting thrown into how to learn the back office. And you might look at that and go, well, yeah, but at least they had someone else to rely on, sorta. But in this case, it takes questions about who's doing accounting, how do you do payroll, how do you pay our bills, who do we do marketing with, what marketing are we doing, how do we do HR issues, like all these like operation questions now become thrown onto someone who, in the middle of a medical crisis, is having to try to wade their way through and take care of the family and take care of their partner who's in the hospital, and like it's overwhelming. We had another company who just yesterday, husband and wife company again, the husband was in a tragic accident and was killed. He lost his life. And similar outcome, right? Where the wife now is thrown into learning parts of the business that primarily the husband ran. The husband was the main technician, the main like troubleshooter, the main everything. And the wife now is having to learn all this stuff about the business that her husband did. And it can be, especially when you're dealing with something like that, on top of the dealing with the medical or dealing with the end of life, guys, it is very, very, very problematic when your company is set up where only one or two people know most of the information and you don't have a bench. So really, I try to have like two or three main topics and ideas or whatever to think through, but really for the intent of this video, because this is emotionally like raw for me, like even just saying this, because these are companies that we love working with and we've seen them overcome a lot of things. It's really, really, really important that you position yourself in a way where you document your systems, you document your processes, and you develop other people on the team to carry on roles. If anyone on your team was taken out or hit by a train or anything along those lines, you need to be able to go to someone else in the organization and replace that knowledge basis really quickly. If you think about the effective organizations in any trade, right? You could talk about the big 50, 100, 200 truck shops if you're plumbing, HVAC, electrical, but really you could talk about any successful business. And while the people, the individual people are important and they matter, at some point, if a general manager at a Walmart was replaced with another general manager overnight because of a medical issue, they wouldn't really miss a beat. There'd be some learning, there'd be some getting used to the new pace, but really the skill set is there. The bench is deep to be able to bring different people in the organization up to fill in those gaps. So really, here's kind of my thought. If there's one thing you get, please, for the sake of your business and everything that you're building your business for, right? Plan on the worst case scenario happening and prepare for it. If you're in an area that gets wildfires or avalanches or hurricanes, prepare for it. Get a plan, get it in place, practice it, get ready for it. It's going to happen. Prepare. If you are someone who is right now, you're in the day-to-day, you are doing the operations and you're doing the marketing and you're running the calls and you're get stuff off your plate. Train people, empower people, become an organization that empowers people deeper in the organization to rise up and fill those gaps. Does that mean you might have to take a smaller percentage of profits at the end of the quarter? Probably. But does that mean that if something, God forbid, happens to you, that the business can still provide for the things that you love most? Yes. And that's the whole point. The side benefit, by the way, the same things that you have to do to kind of like disaster-proof your business are the same things you really need to do to increase the valuation if you're trying to exit, right? Knowing that you're building a machine that can run without you makes it incredibly valuable to any sort of group on the outside who's looking for a company to buy. So there is a zero downside on this equation. It's just uncomfortable. It's not fun. It will get awkward, but you have to do it. Process, systems, and think, how can you make the business run without you, without run with the person you rely on most, without the 3 people you rely on most? How do you create a system that continues to operate? I just want to encourage you guys. It's important. It's not just an academic exercise. It's the difference between making a bad situation less bad or a bad situation much more complicated. So I would love to hear from you about like what you're doing to do continuity planning or disaster planning in your business. Leave a comment below. As always, guys, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.